All right. This is great, actually.
Let's test
really
this again.
Okay.
We'll test this.
Yes.
It sounds like there's 8 people in here.
Here comes Steven.
It is my birthday.
Yeah, we got 2 birthdays. All right, we're ready to go. We're ready to go live. So if the audience is ready to clamor down, and Francesca, this is going to be awesome. This is
I love it.
Actually, if you guys want to heckle us during the show, let's fucking do it.
Viewers, I'm sorry. Nothing productive will happen today.
I'm sorry, Grandma Ruth, to put soap in my mouth. Okay, go ahead and let's do the clacker. And ready, and go.
5 and 4 and 3 and 6 and 4 and 3 and action.
Welcome to Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show presented by MyGunDiary.com and Drake Fine Sporting Arms of El Paso. With your hosts, Felix Menor and J. Scott Drake. And now, here they are.
You've got them trained. You've got the audience trained. They don't even need the applause sign. Welcome to Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show. I am your host, Felix Menor. Alongside me, a man who has trouble differentiating between cinnamon and cayenne pepper at midnight when he's trying to make cinnamon toast.
It was French toast.
French, what? You put cinnamon on French toast?
Absolutely. Yeah. What do you put on French toast?
I just butter.
American toast.
Butter and batter. He is Master Gunsmith, owner and proprietor of Drake Fine Sporting Arms, Mr. J. Scott Drake. You didn't even have to hold the applause sign up, and they gave you a round of applause.
Overachievers, my goodness.
They just like you. And to his right, she's been missing in action for a couple of weeks. We really missed you. We tried to have a couple of different people fill in for you.
I watched while you guys were live, and I really just started thinking about how I'm going to train my stand-in.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting.
Well, they really failed. Pronghorn Sally failed, and Professor Fox failed. As we gave them a shot, but they didn't do their best. Anyhow, she is our badass spokesmodel, Francesca Elaine Ricciuti. Everybody.
My applause were louder. Yes.
Well, you are better looking than Scott and I, and it's all men with the exception of Craig's daughter over there,
Sophia.
And one of Francesca's responsibilities is to plug our sponsor, Cerakote Southwest, and you've got a special message tonight about Cerakote.
So
go ahead.
Cerakote Southwest is a sponsor for our show. They are the only custom Cerakote applicator in Southwest Texas. You can find them online if you want to go on Instagram and give them a follow. They are at Cerakote Southwest. If you want to look them up online, at CerakoteSW.com, you can see the 120 colors they have available to do a custom job for your firearm. They also do custom laser engraving. But I wanted to let you guys know I've had a lot of inquiries about like friends and people that are starting to watch the show and asking, hey, can I get a discount? Because I watch you guys all the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, let me talk to Franco. And he says that if you guys mention me, Scott, Felix, the show, something, tell him that we're crazy or whatever you do, as long as you mention us, you get 10% off your custom order.
I'm just happy to hear that people are starting to watch the show.
Yeah.
Because I really think that every viewer of our show is here in the audience live tonight. We have a massive audience.
Well, it says we got 8 people watching, but I see like 8 cell phones.
Yeah, they're probably it's everybody here in the room. Hey, with that, let's take a moment to say hello to our live studio audience. We do have a few special shout-outs we want to send out to the live studio audience. First and foremost, we have 2 birthdays in the room. We've got our very own AK Steve, his birthday. Happy birthday. And our number one fan, who has been to every show with the exception of the Halloween show that he had to work at the Halloween haunted house, it's Andre's birthday. Andres Rodriguez.
And Andres, so I know we've mentioned a couple times he sharpens knives here at the shop
every Saturday.
On Saturdays. He just did Josh's knife when we stopped by on Saturday.
How'd it turn out?
Amazing. Awesome. Yes, it was amazing. Very dangerous knife now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
check out Andres and his knife sharpening on Saturdays.
Okay,
It's awesome.
every Saturday right here. At
Yeah,
Drake
come by,
Fine Sporting
and
Arms.
most knives are $10. So if you got a little pocket
Yeah.
knife or a regular hunting knife or whatever that you need sharpened up, $10. It's phenomenal. Steven
Yes.
cuts himself immediately
Yep.
after getting his knife sharpened every time.
And then another shout out we want to give tonight. Well, Andre's dad is here for the first time. It's his first time coming to the show. Hopefully he comes again. Although I did see him yawning earlier before we went live. So if he dozes off, and
Do I need to wake up Andres' dad sign?
yeah. And then Francesca's fiance is also here for the first time. I mean, for the show. All these shout-outs are going to take up the whole 30 minutes of the show. Joshua Morris, he's a warrant officer in the Air Defense Artillery, and he's just back from a deployment. And then another friend of the show, Master Sergeant Smith, who's at the Sergeant Major Academy, soon to be. And then Craig and John and Craig's daughter and Chris and everybody here. So, hey, why don't you...
We want to show everybody. He's got the applause sign. So
let's show everyone on the camera here just exactly. We have basically a standing room only.
Yeah, we ran out of chairs.
The next person that comes in is going to have to stand.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got a great show lined up tonight. The first thing I want to do is talk about. You've had this very nice custom canvas and leather gun case. It's a beautiful green felt line case. And it's
Where'd that come from?
yeah, it's not that kind of show. And you can get them here at Drake's Fine Sporting Arms. I was overly impressed with this case. Probably the nicest rifle case I've ever laid eyes on. You can see it here. Right now, you've got the Mauser 7.65 Argentine that you customize. We're going to show later on the show.
That's a rifle that's still in the works. I'm trying to decide if I want to maybe sell it in one of those cases. I don't know, but it's a nice case, man. And you can get those here. They retail for under $250.
Right. If you've got a rifle, an heirloom type rifle, something really nice that you want to take care of and also showcase, a case like this is what you want. So absolutely beautiful. We're going to talk about that Mauser rifle and a bunch of other Mauser rifles because tonight is Mauser Monday.
That died immediately, man.
We should have done this show before we changed the show to Tuesdays. Because now I can't work in Mauser Tuesday. But anyways, I'm going to call it Mauser Monday, and I'll do that graphic on the edited show.
Mauser
Monday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. ... And so
Cricket.
we went out yesterday and shot some Mauser rifles, specifically this pair of VZ24 rifles, which are Czechoslovakian made. And I was bragging talking about last week how the gunsmithing job of the week last week was the first time in months that the gunsmithing job of the week wasn't one of my firearms.
Are you proud of that? Does that make you
yes,
feel a
but
little bit better
that has all gone down the drain because as we discovered, these VZ24 Mausers have bad barrels.
They're Dunskies, man. Both those guns have shot out barrels, really, really bad. Not just a little bit shot out.
We're going to talk about that later. I just want to let everybody know.
Fine. I'll shut up now.
Just shush. And I also brought in a Yugoslav Mauser because Master Sergeant Smith back there said he has a Yugoslav Mauser. I told him to bring it in after the show. We'll take a look at it, but we'll talk about this Mauser a little bit, the history. This was my very first vintage milsurp firearm that I ever collected or bought. So we're going to talk Mausers tonight. We're also going to talk guns in the news, and the gunsmithing job of the week is, I think, highly interesting. So with that, let's move things along since we spent the first 20 minutes giving everybody a shout out. So, but we really appreciate everybody here and appreciate everybody watching on Facebook Live. And I think we have quite a large viewing audience on Facebook Live. And Francesca will be answering everybody's comments live in real time.
Basically, if you have a question about anything, just ask it. If you're doing your math homework or whatever.
What about special requests? Because we want to put an AR in that case.
All right, let's get.
If you want a case for an AR, I'll show you where Academy is. You can go over there.
I'm interested to see how. Did he say $20 is $20? Is it you got that from the T-shirt that says "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20"? Yeah. Hey, with that, let's get into. Let's get into guns in the news.
This week in firearms news and current events.
All right, we've got 3 guns in the news stories for you, and the first 2 are, I guess, one is a police-involved shooting, the other is kind of a drive-by shooting. I think both highly interesting. I should have raised this television up a little bit higher for you all, but you'll still be able to see. So this is an interesting video involving a police officer. It's from his body cam. He's engaged with a suspect who has a knife. And listen to how many times he tells the guy to put his knife down.
The knife. Jeremy, listen to me. Listen to me. You don't want to do this, man. Drop the knife. Do it now. Drop it. Drop the knife, man. Drop the knife, man. Drop the knife. Jeremy, there are tons of options. You drop the knife. Drop the knife. Do it now. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Jeremy, drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop the knife, man. Do it now. Drop the knife. Jeremy, listen to me, man. Listen. You drop the knife. Do it now. Drop the knife.
That's boring shooting.
Drop the knife, Jeremy. Drop
You guys
it.
can hear him,
Drop
but
the
he's
knife.
going, no.
Drop the knife. I'm going to try a taser.
You know what? If 3 more people tell him, he might do it.
So the minute the cop said, I'm going to try a taser, that's when the guy ran at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, that was a clear-cut case of suicide by cop.
He said, I want you to kill me.
Yes.
That's what he said. You probably couldn't hear it on the live feed, but...
And I feel really bad for police officers who encounter that, because that's not uncommon, this suicide by cop thing. And
It's
very
a
tough
difficult
situation
for them, especially in today's media when they're already under so much pressure. It's difficult for them. I can imagine.
I lost count of how many times he said drop the knife.
Seriously,
Right.
and he was just going no.
Yeah. And I wonder, because he said out loud to his fellow officers, I guess, I'm going to switch to my taser or try the taser.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the guy lunged at him with the knife and they shot him.
You should probably just not say anything and do it.
Just not say anything
Yeah.
and do it, And so maybe that guy would have had a chance. But tough situation there, and we don't like to see that. But it's a tough job. Now this one are a couple of idiots. There's actually a lot to talk about in this very short video. It's just a 30-second video. This is from a dash cam, taken from a dash cam in a vehicle that was not involved. And just look to the right of the screen, a vehicle comes up, and to the left of the screen, you see that kind of a tan or gold color sedan that's involved. So here we go.
And he's just wanging rounds off into...
Right. Not much happens after that. I'm going to stop it there. So what catches my attention, obviously, to me, this looks like a gang-related type of shooting, right? These guys rolled up in a vehicle. They must have, this was not random, right? So they had to know that who was in that car. Mm-hmm. But no regard for innocent life. No regard for innocent bystanders. This other guy jumps out, starts wanging rounds, into the intersection.
You're picking up on my words now. You said wanging.
He's shooting over cars,
right?
And hiding behind this truck. So now if this guy in the car is still going to try to shoot at him, he's shooting towards this red truck now, shooting at this box truck. I mean,
I wonder if anybody in that. This is in Florida. I wonder if anybody in any of those vehicles around that witnessed that, if they were armed. Or what would I do if I were armed?
That's the thing about the real world, is you don't have time to react to this stuff. You can carry all the guns you want, but in reality, you're going to go, what was that? Oh, somebody's shooting. I should find my gun. Hey, there it is. Oh, it's all over? Well, crap.
Yeah, these guys are gone by the time it's over. But
I'm just kidding, you guys. All you pistol guys that are my customers, I'm sure you're much faster than that.
Probably. But in this room right now, I mean, obviously we're all firearms enthusiasts. We're supporters of the Second Amendment, which is going to be our next video here. How many people are carrying right now? Right?
Why would you?
What do you mean, like now?
Yeah. Like right this moment.
I'm heavily armed. So
I'm guessing in Florida, there's probably a good chance that somebody in that intersection there was armed and had a firearm. Now they were.
They're definitely drunk and probably inbred.
That gets it. Well, I was slow. I was slow on the. Slow on the take on that one.
I'm sorry. I've been around Florida a lot.
Yeah, there was a radio show I used to listen to that had a really funny bit on their show. It was called Germany or Florida. It was people would call in and they would tell some crazy, wild, strange story that happened, and then the caller would have to guess whether it happened in Germany and Florida. The punchline premise being that all the weirdest stuff in the world happens either in Germany or Florida, which I would agree. Wouldn't you?
Florida's a weird place, man.
Yeah, very weird. I lived there for one summer and won't do it again. So, hey, but with everybody here being supporters of the Second Amendment, this is a clip. It's an older clip. It's from Penn and Teller used to have a show, and it's their explanation of the Second Amendment.
And a 20-year-old kid carrying an assault weapon on the streets of downtown America has absolutely nothing to do with a well-regulated militia.
Well, no. Read the words. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Sure, you need an organized military force to defend your country, but the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is the people, in contrast with the militia. It doesn't say the right of the militia to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It says the right of the people. Now, why the word people? Because the people who wrote this had just fought a war for 2 years against the tyrannical state militia. They knew the time might come when they'd have to do that again. So they made the possession of weapons a right that the militia could never take away. Now, gun control advocates say the phrasing is clumsy, and the comma separating the state from the people is just a pause to get your breath. Strange, they can't seem to point out any other places where those hack framers fucked up the wording.
Oh, yeah. It didn't even need the applause sign for that one either.
I know.
When I write, a lot of times I like to take a breath, so I just put a comma.
Yeah.
I really like their explanation. I mean, they phrase it in such a way that it's hard to argue with, but I think they hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And you always see articles about people trying to explain how the Second Amendment doesn't protect the individual right to bear arms. Mm-hmm. But I got bad news for you. In some recent decisions by the Supreme Court of the United States did clarify that the Second Amendment does specifically pertain to the right of individuals to keep and bear arms. And so, yeah I think, obviously with this administration being, fair to the Second Amendment, I mean, there's still a lot going on with it, but I think the worst days are over. Does anybody here agree or disagree as far as gun control? 2.5 years. You say we got 2.5 years left? Yeah. And then who's going to come in? Bernie Sanders? Bernie's going to give free college to everybody and take away our guns.
This is where I stay quiet because I don't want to get into rhetoric about conspiracy theories and whatnot.
That's where I disagree with you on how you approach the show sometimes.
It's all a distraction, Felix. They're not even the people that really run the world.
Is it the what is that group of people that meet every few years?
The Bilderberg group?
The Bilderberg.
No, it is not the Bilderberg group. They're just a group of businessmen who get together and talk about strategy.
Is it Bundaberg or Bilderberg?
It's Bilderberg, and it's not. It's the Rothschilds. So there, I said it.
Let's move into. Yeah, I'm glad you finally gave out your conspiracy theory, because you're always just like, nobody wants to hear my conspiracy.
It's not a conspiracy theory. You just have to call it that because you can't prove it's fact.
Let's prove some facts with your excellent gunsmithing job of the week.
Yeah, let's do that. I can do that.
It's time for the gunsmithing job of the week.
Hey, the gunsmithing job of the week. It's highly interesting. Oh wait, that's from last time. Yeah, my bad.
That has nothing to do with what's going on.
Let me fix that. Okay, here we go.
And you know what? We actually completely forgot about that project. It was like it just didn't exist.
No, we're still working on that one.
Are we?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys sound like total dudes right now. Like 10 projects started, and no, we're still working on it.
Welcome to my store.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been, a number of you here in the live studio audience have been in the last few weeks and seen pieces of this everywhere, because it was in pieces. It's finally starting to look like a shotgun.
Well, that's how the progression of work in this store goes. It winds up in like 14 different pieces laying in 4 different rooms, and then I put it all back together eventually.
Last week I played a short clip.
Hiding rooms from us?
Yeah, here.
You're hiding rooms from us, so you have extra
secret
rooms.
Yeah. Last week I played a short clip of some of the work that he was doing on it, which he was. You can give it just a quick 10-second explanation of what you're doing. 10 seconds.
Sure. So this guy was out shooting. His barrels separated, and actually they're sleeved together, so it slid apart, and it broke the fore end in half, and it just generally was all bad. So what I had to do was unsolder everything, all the ribs, the side ribs, top rib, and the barrels from this. I don't know what it doesn't happen like that on a normal shotgun. The barrels are one piece. You know what I mean? So this is like a weird swaged, soldered system that they had. That's why it separated and screwed up in the first place.
Right. And the reason it's the Gunsmithing Job of the Week this week is yesterday was you got it to the point where it was time to test it out, at least putting some rounds through it.
So I went back, I unsoldered all of this stuff, got the barrel squared away, soldered everything back together, and then it was time to shoot it. All
right. So
before you went further with the.
I'm not going to go and glue
right.
this thing and finish the stock and everything like that before I know that it's going to shoot.
And
not explode.
To this point, how many man hours have been put into that between you and Steve together?
To this point, just fitting the stock and everything like that. I mean, we're probably like 7-8 hours into this thing,
including what you did with the.
I want to say that this was an experiment, man. I have never unsoldered and resoldered everything on a shotgun before, and the general consensus from a guy that's been doing gunsmithing for 45 years was throw that shotgun away and get him another one. Because you're never going to be able to fix it. Well, I did. How about that?
Bam. Drop the. Felix won't be mad. Drop your mic. Felix won't be mad. Drop the mic. Throw it on the ground.
Oh, yeah, mic drop. Well, that was an earpiece.
No, I'm not going to drop the mic, man.
He won't be mad.
All right, let's show the video. The video has sound, so we'll just let it play. But you genuinely had fear when you fired the first couple rounds that this thing might explode.
Wouldn't you?
It might explode.
Yeah.
No, I was far away. I got far away and zoomed in. All right, here we go.
Are we going to film this? I would step back because I don't know what's going to come flying apart on this thing. Ready? You were still a little close for my comfort, though. So I'm checking all the solder joints right now.
Yeah.
The shells got stuck. I didn't bother to put the extractors back in.
The ejectors back in.
The ejectors, I mean.
It looks to be okay. I mean, there's a little... That seam was slightly open when I put the barrels back together. This little gap was open on the rib. It looks like everything held together for the most part. Everything looks great. All right, so a little more confident this time. I think I might actually put it next to my face. Maybe. Ready?
Yeah.
Seems all right, man. I think...
So what's the next step in the restoration process?
We got to blue the barrels, finish sanding, and
we'll finish sanding all the barrels, get all this stuff taken back down to the polish that we want, and then we'll re-blue the whole barrel setup. And then we've got to finish out this stock, because if you remember, the stock cracked literally in half whenever these barrels came apart. So still a little bit of work to do. It's easy to be confident when it's not your face. Okay, don't shoot the tire anymore, because all of them just came back and hit me.
So in this last little 10 seconds of the video, Scott catches a ricochet. Steve shoots a rubber tire that's out there.
I had the perfect opportunity to scream, I'm hit, something's burning. And I didn't do it.
But
if you recall from...
Okay, don't shoot the tire anymore.
Did you hear the lead raining back on my car?
Yeah.
All right, so we learned.
Did you catch a ricochet?
Yeah, a little bit.
We're like brothers now. We're like blood brothers now. Because as most of you know, I caught a ricochet from a 10 gauge, and so when you caught your ricochet,
Josh shot Felix with a 10 gauge slug.
Yeah, and you just took some bird shot is all. So we're passing around that shotgun right now. It's got a ways to go. This is a project that you can follow right here on the show and see the finished product, because I think it's getting close, and it's just a really remarkable restoration project by Scott. And I think, kudos to you and Steve for all this work you're doing on it, and I hope that guy is happy and pays you what you deserve for a job like that. So, yeah. Hey, with that, let's move into our last segment, it's Mauser Monday on Tuesday, with our You Show Me Yours, I'll Show You Mine.
You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Scott called me on, that's old. Scott called me on Sunday and Monday about to go out shooting. We went yesterday. We had no idea what we were going to shoot, and I've actually got a number of firearms in my collection that I have never shot, and a pair of them were both of these Mausers.
First word problem.
These are Czechoslovakian VZ24 Mausers, if you want to hold that one. And this other one, Steve, you can pass it around so everybody can take a look at these Mausers. This one's got a really nice stock, the one that Steve's passing around.
That's the sticky one, right? That's the sticky? No. Which one's the gun that we had on here that was the sticky one?
Neither of these were sticky.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And so I brought out about 100 rounds of ammo, and we test fired them, and then we had the competition. We had a shooting competition, and here's how it went down. We took a standard military qualification, M4 qualification.
Looks good. We're having a fashion moment.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to run the show or anything.
No.
Are we still doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'll play the damn video. Let me just play the damn
Just play the video, Felix.
With beautiful VZ24 Mausers. The Czechoslovakian VZ24 Mauser is widely considered to be among the finest Mausers ever made. You can tell a VZ24 a couple of ways. They've got the sling swivel on the side and on the bottom, so that in case somebody on horseback wanted to carry it, he could put the sling on the side swivel sling. That's a mouthful, isn't it? The action is quite smooth, and unlike other Mausers, the bolt does not stay locked to the rear when you're out of rounds. So even though there's no rounds in it, you can work that bolt. Yeah, and if you guys want, it's obviously there's no ammo in it. You guys want to work that bolt and feel how smooth it is, and then Master Sergeant Smith, if you can compare it to your Yugoslav Mauser. And so what we did is we took a standard military Army M4 qualification target, and it's got 10 targets that are supposed to simulate at 25 yards targets from 50 meters to 300 meters. And we each took a turn. Today is just have a little fun putting some round. We each took a turn, 10 rounds, and the lowest score is going to buy or was going to buy Dairy Queen, which we still have to do. Now, in the studio audience, at just knowing myself, I'm a competitive shooter. I don't know if you know that or not.
You are. You've been in two competitions.
I have been in two competitions.
Yeah. You were what, 17?
I finished in 8th place the first time and in 15th place the second time.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought you got better.
Oh, I thought you were talking about pumpkin shooting, because I was just going to remind you that I won.
And so, out of 10 rounds, and you'll take a look here. Here, we'll take a look here. Let's fast forward a little bit. All right, here's Scott.
Is that?
And Scott shot offhand, not supported. Steve and I shot supported. Moving already.
He's a fancy girl.
Yeah.
Gotta mess with him while he's shooting. Terrible haircut.
She scalped me, man.
Jump in.
It's just like the Army. I can't remember which targets I shot.
Amen.
All right, so there you can see the distance, and here you can see the target that we were shooting at.
It doesn't look that hard till you're doing it.
Yeah, and especially if you look through the sights of these Mausers, the sights
there are no sights, man.
It's horrible.
It's got a tiny little. It's like somebody took their thumbnail and went like that, and they were like, "That V is good enough."
All right, let's take a look here. I think it's your last shot. Try to move this video along. What's your prediction? How many do you think you got?
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. All right, let's go see. Look at that.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 shots with a vintage VZ24 rifle that...
Your applause.
Now, here's the punchline. Here's the punchline for this whole video. Here's the punchline for this video. What we discovered is that both of these VZ24s, especially the one that Mark is holding, the barrels are completely shot out.
So that one was keyholing bullets sideways through the target at 30 meters.
At 30 meters. So if you don't know what keyholing is, that's the bullet, the barrel is so worn out that the bullet doesn't come out straight out of the front of the barrel. It comes out like twisting, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, its gas escape is forcing it off center, and it's doing weird things.
And those barrels are absolutely done, shot. This barrel has more wear than that one, but I think that the rifling is a little bit better, so that bullet was flying straighter.
There's a whole thing. This one's been backboard. That one has not.
Counterboard.
Counterboard. Well, backboard, counterboard.
Okay.
Anyway, so
all right,
that's
now,
a thing.
Now, you said you wanted to do is rebarrel both of these.
Yeah, and take off the military stocks.
Okay.
And then cut the bolt handles and turn them down.
All right, so here's what Scott always wants to take my weapons and completely change them around. But obviously with these weapons, the barrels are no good. So I'm going to give in on this one. On one of these, let's rebarrel it in 30-06.
Say 375-06, please.
On one of these, we'll rebarrel it in 30-06 and leave it original.
A little pedestrian, but okay, I'll do it.
On the other one, I'm going to give you carte blanche to do.
Is that chick from the Golden Girls? I don't want her.
Does that deserve a rim shot?
That was a bad joke. Don't. Yeah.
The other one, you can do whatever you want to it. Meaning, I don't even want to know until the end, until it's finished.
Does that mean I can sell it? I'll wait 6 months and then I'll tell you I sold it.
Hey, Scott, where's that rifle? I did a great job and made some money.
I sold it for $75. There you go.
So that's that. And being that it's a Mauser night, I do just want to close out the show and tell you about my very first Milsurp firearm I ever purchased. It's a Yugoslav 2447. Is this same as what you've got, Mark? 2447? We'll take a look and compare. M48. Okay, those are even better than the 2447. M48s are as good as these VZ24s.
They're all 98 pattern actions. I mean, it's just a matter of some little nitnoid stuff.
There you go, nitnoid.
Nitnoid.
So I fitted it in.
Do we need an appendix for this show so people can look up your words?
I've got an appendix.
See your outline.
Is this comedy happening right here? Let me give you a laugh track. So, about 9 years ago, I was taking a college class at night and talking about firearms with somebody. I just barely started really getting into shooting quite a bit, and somebody overheard in class that we were talking about firearms. He says, "Hey, I've got a rifle I want to sell. Maybe you'd be interested." I said, "Well, what is it?" He says, "Well, it's a Mauser." Now, at the time, I really wasn't familiar with Mausers. I didn't know much about them or anything. And he invited me over to his house to come check it out. Now, first of all, I get to the house, and it's like a trailer house, a mobile home. And it looks like something out of a horror movie where bad things are happening in the basement of this mobile home house.
You didn't add him to the straight shooting group, right? Like, no. He's not watching us.
I've never been in a mobile home with a basement.
I don't know. But so he opens the door.
Means that there's a hole in the floor.
Okay.
Have you ever been to anyone's home that they have so many animals that they don't clean up after, that the smell hits you
permanently in everything?
It hits you like a wall, right? Like a brick wall. Gas. That's how this mobile home with a basement was.
Gross.
And he brings this Mauser out, and it was all rusted over. All the metal parts were rusted.
That one?
Yes, this one.
Wow.
And everything. I mean, it was horrible. I'll show you. I'll post some before and after pictures if I can find them. This was a long time ago, but I know I have some somewhere.
Steel wool.
Yeah, yep. And so he said, if you want to take it and inspect it. I said, yeah, can I take it and give it to a gunsmith in Washington to, take a look at it?
And he steel wooled it.
No, he told me it was, look, it's rusted, but everything looks good. The barrel looks good. It just needs to be cleaned up. Yeah. And I said, well, how much should I offer the guy? And he said, offer him $50, And at the time, they were going for about $200, something like this, 2447. So I went back and I offered the guy. I said, "Look, the most I can give you is $50 because it's all rusted. It's going to take a lot of work to get it done." And he turned me down at first. And so I got in my car and I drove. And like 2 seconds later, he said, "Fine, $50." I turned around and picked it up. So I got my very first Mauser, and it's actually quite nice. It's 2447 Yugoslav for $50. I cleaned it up with steel wool.
This is your lesson on bartering.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
You should have gone, okay, $45 and, a case of monkey diapers or something, whatever you need.
But after the show, I'm going to get with Mark and we'll compare Mausers. And then I did bring for you. You can borrow from my library. I think you'll find it interesting. This is an excellent guide to specifically Serbian and Yugoslav Mausers. It's got all the different.
I don't know. That was completely irrelevant. I just felt like doing it.
It's got all the different markings for all the different Mausers, where they originated. Serial numbers, things of that nature, which armies use them, et cetera, et cetera. So I think you'll enjoy it. I like it. It's nice to browse through. It's a good read. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so the end result was both Steve and I were able to get 4 rounds in, half as many as Scott. So Steve and I are going to have to foot the bill for Dairy Queen for Scott as a result of our losing at the competition. Scott was the big winner. And that's
winner, triple hamburger dinner.
If that's what you want. Hey, I just want to remind everybody, especially the studio audience, I'm going to hold them all here to it. The only person in the studio audience who has purchased anything from our logo merchandise store is Joshua Morris.
Yeah.
He bought a coffee cup.
That reminds me. My grandma asked
about the thongs.
The thong.
No. She asked if we were going to do a Valentine's Day sale.
It's pronounced Valentine's Day, okay? And
Sure, a Valentine's Day sale so that you could get somebody to buy your thongs for Valentine's Day.
Sure, let's do a Valentine's Day sale.
All right, if you buy 2 things on Valentine's Day, you get the 3rd thing at regular price.
How much should we discount the thongs for Valentine's Day?
That's perfect for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, come on, Francesca. Let's get a female perspective. How much should we?
How much would I pay for a thong?
How much
what do I want to discount?
How much should we discount it?
15%.
15% off on a logo straight shooting show thongs, or you can get the.
If we took them half off, it'd be a very merry holiday. That's where this show's going tonight.
I think that's where we should start to wrap it up. Hey, so
That's so cute.
It's going downhill fast. Hey, remind everybody you can find us at straightshootingshow.com. Our sponsor is Cerakote Southwest. You can find them at cerakotesw.com. Drake Fine Sporting Arms is at dfsa.us, and where it all started is mygundiary.com, which is my gun blog, which I spend so much time on this show. I've just resorted to only posting blog posts of hot girls with guns on my gun blog.
And he doesn't even have time to finish the...
I'm sure people will still appreciate it.
We've got another Gunsmithing video in the works that...
Everyone's going to want to see
I
that.
know, right?
Video,
Everybody's waiting for that.
I don't think... Although the one that you did put up... Have you guys seen the Gunsmithing video? Where it's just like 20 minutes of Scott working on guns and with really...
It's an excellent, man. I watch it sometimes when I can't sleep.
Hey, we want to thank everybody. Really, thank everybody for coming in. If I would have known that this many people were coming in, we would have done pizza and sodas and punch and pie and But if you can all RSVP,
You know what? We're gonna have to just start doing tickets, CD. Certain
right? We need
numbers.
a guy with a rope and
my goodness, a bouncer. Felix said he was going to get a bouncer.
I think you guys will all like the little short video clip to end the show. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Am I eating a taco again?
No, no tacos. No tacos.
I mean, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I mean, what's up?
Stay tuned for the next episode of Straight Shooting when we take another shot.
Asking about the Franny packs.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. You know what? Felix is going to make you a flow chart for that applause sign here pretty quick.
I like to randomly use it.
Yeah, I know, but I think that because we use it as the stop talking Felix sign, so he's going to make you a flow chart, I bet.
No, the applause sign was a success. I think.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was. While we were having our moment about your sweater, some people were saying how good you were looking.
What's that?
When we were having our moment about your sweater, Allison Jenkins Armstrong.
Okay.
Hi, Allison.
Hi,
She
Allison.
said, he does look handsome, right, Beverly?
Well, that's my mom would of course agree with that. I'd like to point out that Steven's looking dapper since he got that haircut. It's been haircut week around here, man. We were both looking awful.
Remember, he got
Yeah.
all of them cut.
I think that's been the longest that I've gone since I've been out of the Army without getting a haircut. I couldn't go anymore, man. It was
My hair's
bugging me.
actually shorter now than it was in the Army.
Mine is too right now.
An
Yeah.
accomplishment.
I pushed it to the right.
Turn the red dot on, Craig. Cock on closing. Use man hands.
I forgot to show the video for this thing.
It was awful. Don't worry about it.
Next week. Yeah, it was awful.
The switch on the side. Just right there.
Yeah, you just rotate it.
What was the?
Did I leave it on? Is the battery dead?
Now it's kind of. It rotated.
I want
I think it feels good, man.
to be able
Wasn't
to
there an
see,
attempt
like,
by the?
here.
We don't use the word sporterized in this shop.
What do you call it?
Customized.
Customized. Oh.
Because sporterizing
It takes
involves
a
that
second.
frickin' Bubba chopped out a piece of shit stock
Okay, true.
and used the same military barrel without
got one.
modifying it.
You want more?
Oh, I think it's fine.
Sporterizing is a thing of the past. People are still doing it. I don't.
Moving in and out of this area.
That's kind of a, suppose we're going to
Yeah.
throwback.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to bring one to you.
Now Steven can sniperize stuff. I don't know if you know that. Steven does sniperizing.
There you go. Still think we need to show AR Mauser.
Oh, I've got an AR that I want to build.
Uh-oh. What AR do you want to build?
Noreen makes a long action.
AR. The 300.
The 300, yeah. I want to build a 338 Win Mag AR.
They have one. Don't they have a Nemo?
With oil finished wood furniture.
They have a Nemo, so you're just changing on the furniture.
A what?
They have a 300 Win Mag AR.
338
Oh, 338.
Win Mag. So I can go. Good thumb.